Hey everybody, it's Joe Moreau with Return the King podcast. I am doing this video here on Instagram Live to go through some updates regarding Return the King podcast, and to give you guys an idea on what Return the King is about, especially to promote our Patreon account. I want to encourage all of you to go check out our Patreon. You can find the link in our bio, the link in the bio for Return the King Instagram, as well as my own personal at Joe Moreau. You'll see the link there too. It's patreon.com/Return of the King. Okay, so Return the King has three overall purposes. There's three main things I focus on with this ministry, with Return the King. The first thing I focus on has to do with dealing with the crisis facing the church. Okay, I do content pertaining to that topic to give people an idea of what's going on in modern times and how to navigate through the storms and grow in piety and sanctity through it. So that's an important component of what I do. Second thing I focus on as well is apologetics, to help Catholics, to equip them to know how to defend their faith against heresies. Also give Catholics, to give them a confidence to know what we believe and why we believe it. So that's also an important component of what I do. And the third thing has to do with sanctity and virtue, encouraging Catholics to be sharpened and to stay on the narrow path carrying their cross, engaging valiantly in the daily spiritual combat against their vices, and growing in virtue, okay, to become holy, to be saints. So everything that I do through Return the King will normally have one of those three ends behind it: the crisis in the church, apologetics, or virtue. You know, you'll see on all the stuff that I do, it's normally one of those three categories it's going to fall into. And I try to keep it pretty balanced between the three, just to give you guys an idea. At our Patreon account, there's two ways to be a member right now. There's a free membership, and then there's a paid membership. Okay, which is I call it the ROTK patrons. Okay, that's the paid membership. The free members at Patreon will get access to original articles that I write. Okay, so you're only going to find it there at Patreon, and you're going to get access as well to early content as far as posts go, reels. Things that in time may make their way. It could be to YouTube or Instagram or some other social media platform. But if you're a free member, you get first dibs, so to speak, early access to that content. Okay, so those are some of the benefits of doing a free membership: original articles and early access to content. Okay, you're in a sense the first to know about what's going on with Return the King podcast. Okay, paid members, ROTK patrons, get all that, plus they will get exclusive videos from me regarding one of those three fields that I mentioned: crisis facing the church, apologetics, or virtue, devotions and spirituality. I'm constantly putting out videos. Okay, for the month of May, we had almost 30 pieces of content between articles and videos. So paid members get access to everything, including the videos. Exclusive video podcasts that you're not going to find on YouTube or anywhere else. You're only going to find it on Patreon. And not only that, I started last month my Bible study series. We're going first through the Gospel of St. Matthew. So paid members are the only ones that get access to that Bible study. And these Bible studies go at least an hour long. They're very in-depth. We go through the entire chapter of sacred scripture. We will go through the theology behind it, the context, original languages, statements of the early church fathers, teachings from the popes, doctors of the church. We'll go through apologetics. We'll go through the spiritual takeaways. So we go through a whole bunch of stuff. These are, really solid Bible studies. So that's what you get as a paid member. You get all the videos, plus you get the articles, plus you get the early access to content, posts and reels and stuff like that. So if you ever see, for example, a post here on our Instagram account, it most likely was already on Patreon 24 to 48 hours before. I always put it first there. And again, the articles, the videos, you're only going to find at Patreon. So to give you an idea of some of the articles, for example, that you get as a free member to Return the King's Patreon, some of the most recent ones I've done, there's an article on there, an apologetics article on the Immaculate Conception of our Blessed Mother, where I explain the dogma of the Immaculate Conception and give the Catholic defense for it against Protestant accusations against the dogma. We go through Scripture, early Church Fathers. We go through the Greek language, all of that good stuff. There's an article I put up recently on the perpetual virginity of our Blessed Mother. Same exact thing, defending the perpetual virginity from a Catholic apologetics perspective. And in there I answer all the top objections that Protestants throw our way against the perpetual virginity. I did an article recently on Peter being the rock of Matthew 16, being the rock of the church, showing definitive proof, again, from context, from the Greek language to the Aramaic language to the early church fathers, showing how Peter is the rock of Matthew 16. I did one called The Errors of Gregory Palamas, who's venerated in the Eastern Orthodox sect, and exposing what his heresies and errors are. So that's some of the apologetic stuff you'll find right now, and there's always more that's on its way. Regarding issues with the church, I have an article that's exclusive to ROTK, to members of Patreon, on the apostasy. And I go through all the relevant scripture passages pertaining to the great apostasy of the end times. Not only that, not just going through the Bible verses, but then going through all the early church fathers who commented on those very Bible verses and show what they had to say as well as connecting all that to Our Lady of Fatima. So I have that article up. I have an article up called The Harlot of Babylon, the connection between the synagogue of Satan and the harlot of the apocalypse. There's a lot of information in that article that you're not going to find anywhere else. I have an article up called The Heresy of Ecumenism, where I go through Vatican II, the 1992 John Paul II Catechism, the 1993 Directory for Ecumenism that was promoted by the Vatican, and go through all the errors in there and contrast it to the traditional teachings of the popes prior to Vatican II. So that article's up. Can a Pope fall into schism? That's a groundbreaking study that I put together, going through various doctors, canonists, and theologians of the church from the medieval era, from the 15th, 16th century onward up until the early to mid 20th century, talking about the possibility of, what can happen. Is it possible for a pope to fall into schism? And if so, what would cause him to fall into schism? So I have a whole article detailing that as well. That's on church stuff. On issues pertaining to virtue and sanctity, I've started a series on the Imitation of Christ, where I'm going chapter by chapter, dissecting what's being talked about by Thomas à Kempis in Imitation of Christ, one of the greatest spiritual books in the history of the church, and the second best-selling book in Christian history behind the Bible, believe it or not. So I'm dissecting that and discussing all the principal takeaways you can get from this book and how to grow in holiness through it. I'm doing a series on the Sacred Heart devotion from Father Crusade, the spiritual director of St. Margaret Mary. Just put up an article yesterday called A Lively Faith, the second disposition necessary for devotion to the Sacred Heart. So we're going through the dispositions needed for proper devotion. I have an article called The Path to Sanctity Through the Immaculate and Sacred Hearts, where I talk about the importance of devotion to the Sacred Heart and devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. We go through the teachings of St. Margaret Mary and St. Louis de Montfort in that one. I have one called The Narrow Path Through the Works of Mercy, where I go through the corporal and spiritual works of mercy and I give practical suggestions on how you could live those in the present day. I have an article I put up called The Silent Cross, discussing depression and loneliness and how to persevere through that battle. And there's one called Beyond Minimalism in the Christian Life. I'm encouraging Christians to aim high, keep the bar high. Don't aim for purgatory, aim for heaven. So this just gives you an idea of some of the articles that you'll find as a free member of Return of the King. And again, I'm updating constantly at Patreon with original articles that you're not going to find anywhere else. And you get that as a free member. You don't have to pay anything. You're just a free member. You'll get all those articles. Starting out, if you want to sign up now, you'll get to read all of those. All the new stuff that comes out, that are articles. And again, you get exclusive early bird access to posts and reels before it hits YouTube or Instagram or anywhere else. Okay, so that's some of the stuff you get as a free member. And again, as a paid member, you'll get all that plus the videos. I have my Bible study on the Gospel of St. Matthew chapter 1. I have several videos I've done since the election of Leo XIV. I have tons of apologetics videos on there talking about purgatory, the Mass, Sola Scriptura. Again, all exclusive that you're only going to find at Patreon. I update videos throughout the week just on my thoughts on various things pertaining to the faith. So again, I encourage you all to check it out. Right, Patreon and an ongoing membership is just $10 a month. There's a special going on right now for a 25% discount that's going to expire in a couple of days. 25% off your first month. Special introductory offer. It's automatically applied at checkout, just to give it a try for a month and see what you think. There's also a special 20% discount overall if you want to pay up front for an annual membership. You'll get 20% off the total. So you save money in the long run if you do an annual membership. A few people have taken advantage of that in the past few days, so I encourage all of you to do that. I have coming up soon, my next Bible study on the Gospel of St. Matthew is going to be coming out, and all sorts of other content. So just encouraging all of you, again, to check out Patreon. Again, Return the King, the things that we highlight, the crisis, apologetics, spirituality, and devotions. And you're going to get all that mix at our Patreon account. Some as a free member and all of it as a paid member. Right now I have 3 videos that are available to free members. It's temporary, just for the time being. Take advantage of it as a free member. Check out those 3. I did that just to give all of you a glimpse into some of the content you're missing out on if you're not a paid member. Okay. The videos right now that free members have access to, the first one is Israel's Role in the End Times, which features special guest Dr. Robert Sungenis. We talked for an hour on that topic. The other one is Divine Mercy, which is part 1 of a 3-part series. The first part 1 to that is available right now for free to free members to watch and check out. And the third one is a 1-hour full-on exegesis into the dogma of extra ecclesiam nulla salus, no salvation outside the church. And that video, in that hour, I go through the scripture passages that support that dogma. I go through much of the early church saints, the authoritative statements of popes and councils. I discuss invincible ignorance, baptism, desire, and I go through all of it in that video. So there's a lot of stuff in that video. So right now, as a free member, you get access to those 3 videos for the time being. So take advantage of that. What else did I want to say? I'm doing things through YouTube. So in fact, I have a video coming out in the next few days on YouTube that'll be released dealing with the topic of Archbishop Lefebvre and the Charge of Schism. So I'm still doing YouTube videos at least once or twice a week. Still putting those out. This month, beginning in June, I'm excited to announce I'm going to be bringing back Iron Sharpens Iron. A lot of you asked about that. We were pulling good through February and March with Iron Sharpens Iron. That was an ongoing podcast with a rotating group of Catholic men who would join me, and we would just discuss a topic for an hour and a half, and just do freestyle roundtable discussion. I had to pull back due to personal issues from a lot of what I was doing back in March and April. But little by little, I've been picking things back up and getting things going. So that's one of the things I want to bring back is Iron Sharpens Iron. So be on the lookout. That's going to be coming back to YouTube. And thank you for all of you for your support and, for asking about Iron Sharpens Iron. And thank you for all your prayers and everything. I really appreciate it. Caroline and I both appreciate it. So that will be coming back as well. Another thing I wanted to mention. So some of you have asked Nina Leone, what is her level of involvement at this point with Return the King podcast? And a lot of you know that Nina and I we founded Return the King podcast together, some years ago. As of right now, Nina is no longer actively involved with Return the King podcast. She has voluntarily stepped down. And that was the fruit of her own prayer and discernment. She felt called by God to step away from it, and I supported her with that. But every now and then, and again, this is a plug for Patreon, I have given Nina permission to upload original videos that she makes to our Patreon account for paid members. So another little bonus there. If you're a paid member of our ROTK Patreon, you'll get access to those videos as well. But, keep praying for me and for Carol Ann and Return the King podcast. Keep Nina in your prayers, even though she's no longer actively a member of Return the King. But again, every now and then she will do updates. She'll post video updates at Patreon on topics that God puts into her heart to talk about. So, but that just gives you guys a basic update. Hey, Molly, I see that you're on there saying hi. Nice to see you, Molly. Just want to come on here and give you guys a basic update of some of the stuff that's been going on with Return the King, and really plug, our Patreon page. God's been good to me in the past week. We've had a whole slew of new members that have joined us. I'm really grateful. Many free members, some paid members. I appreciate it. The reason why it helps me out so much, these contributions and donations help me out tremendously, because as I've said before, running a ministry, especially on my own, with the articles, with the videos, with, podcasts, with content, everything, it requires, as you can imagine, a lot of personal time for study, for research, for ongoing studies, ongoing reading in the faith and study. It requires prayer, requires a lot of personal time. And the reality is, I work a full-time job like most people do. I have personal commitments to my chapel, personal commitments at home with my family, with Carol Ann. I have all that going on. So I set aside time intentionally every single day, sometimes to the late hours of the night, to focus on things for Return the King podcast, to study, to research, to pray, to record. So that's why the contributions and the donations help. It gives me what's needed to keep going with Return the King, and I really appreciate it. So, and Molly, you're saying once I have time to sit down and watch, I'm going to devour the Patreon content. Thank you for all your time and efforts. Well, God bless you, Molly. Thank you so much. You know how much I appreciate you and your support, so thank you. But yeah, I appreciate all of you that support Return the King podcast and have supported me in Return the King podcast, and please keep praying for me. Just check out Return the King at Patreon, patreon.com/Return the King. Check it out. Join as a free member. Won't cost you a penny. And again, as a free member, you'll get access to all the articles, all the early bird content, special posts and polls and all that kind of stuff. Not to mention you'll get access, if you'd like, to me if you want to comment, send me a direct message. I'll respond to you. I am very, very minimal these days with Instagram. Other than jump on and put a post update up, I'm very minimal. I've barely been checking the DMs. So I'm trying to keep myself more distant from social media, other than to promote Return the King podcast, for the glory of God and the salvation, sanctification of souls. But other than that, I've been minimal off social media. So I do answer all the DMs I get through Patreon. So again, check it out as a free member. Check out those 3 videos I mentioned as a free member for a trial period and see what your thoughts are. And if God puts it in your heart, become a paid member and get access to everything that I'm putting out there through Patreon. So I just want to put all that out there. Hope you'll check it out, and I think that's about it. So keep on the lookout. Like I said, Iron Sharpens Iron is returning this month, in the month of June. I'll have an announcement on that shortly. Have some other big news that'll be coming very shortly, but I'm not going to say what that is just yet. But it will be coming out shortly. And again, if you're on Patreon, you'll probably hear it before everyone else does. Just, again, just to let you know. But I have some very, very big news in regards to Return the King podcast. That'll be huge. Can't wait to share all that with you, hopefully in the next couple weeks, God willing. I have a YouTube video coming out in the next few days on Archbishop Lefebvre and some other content I'm working on. And I will be shortly, soon, posting my next Bible study for Patreon. And all sorts of good things. So anyways, thanks for supporting me again. Thanks for supporting Return the King podcast. Please keep me in your prayers. And rest assured, you're always in my prayers. All right? God bless all of you. Thank you.